Thanks for staying here on the Joy News channel. It is our special coverage of International Women's Day. I'm Bernice Abubedu. Let's now take you to the office of the First Lady. There's currently a panel discussion ongoing, being moderated by Matilda Asante.
Forever. It's important that this policy should be well supported across all of rural Ghana. And we also have the Child and Family Welfare Policy, as well as the Justice for Children Policy. We have the Gender Policy and Social Protection Policy. We're taking the Affirmative Action Bill. It's in Cabinet now, and when it's approved, we will send it to Parliament.
Now, I know that these are customary in some communities. So if somebody does that, is there anything legally that can be done to prosecute the champions of child marriage, say in the Mamprasi district, for instance?
Yes, indeed. The northern region has the highest prevalence of child marriage of over 39%, followed by the Upper West, Upper East, and then it comes down. So what it is that in rural Ghana, the prevalence of child marriage is more severe. And so we are talking about a national strategic framework on ending child marriage. Okay. This is
brilliant.
the national.
A round of applause for that. This is obviously some bold policy initiatives.
Yes, 2017 to 2026. That means we have 6 years to end child marriage. And it's a collective ability.
So assuming somebody like Comfort comes across a girl that is about to be, giving away as a child in child marriage, for instance, what steps can she take in line with this policy to make sure that the child is saved?
First of all, you have to report to the police. Most of the time, it's a family member or a friend who does this. And the family will rather stigmatize or pressurize the person, the child, not to report because it is a family member. But if your family member loves you, they shouldn't be abusing your rights. And so it's important that victims must report. And they are also threatened that when you report, something bad will happen to you or your family. The other thing is, I know that traditional rulers are working hard, but they are not the law.
Sure.
And so the traditional ruler might ask for a carton of schnapps, water or minerals or a goat. Then that goes to the traditional ruler. Then the culprit goes scot-free and does it again. But the victim has to live with the trauma forever. And then their future is destroyed. So there is a penalty that when you get involved in child marriage is 1 year's imprisonment, or you have to pay a fine of 500 Ghana cedis or both.
I think the 500
the law.
Is
small, isn't it?
So everybody says the 500 is
so
small.
We are
but at least there's 1 year jail term that you could,
exactly. We are reviewing the law, and we are going to work with the Queen Mothers, the traditional rulers, the teachers, the CBOs, everybody, the media, to ensure that we drum it in that child marriage is a dishonor. It's a disgrace.
Thank you very much. I think it's a good time to go to Mrs. Stephanie Mreko Asante from the Girl Child Education. We've talked a lot about child marriage. I remember this campaign so vividly. You send your girl child to school. How many of us remember that? I'm sure we've made significant progress, but as you've also just heard, there still remain many daunting tasks. I was reading up for this conversation, and I found that 1 out of 10 girls in sub-Saharan Africa, for instance, will not go to school during their menstruation because they don't have the right sanitary equipment, for instance, and they fear the stigma that they will suffer. Also, again, reading around, there was this story, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with, of girls who cannot go to school in parts of Ghana because when you're menstruating, you cannot cross some river, and you need to cross that river to go to school. How is the Girl Child Education Program addressing these?
Right, thank you very much. Greetings to all and happy Women's Day. Girls Education Unit is a unit under the Ministry of Education and the GES. We have at the district level as to the highest level, that's the headquarters, activities that we are doing to enhance girls' education. Our mission is to get these girls into school, for them to stay in school and to complete. That is access, retention, and transition. So with this, everything that goes into the girl child coming in school, to stay in school, and to complete is what the Girls' Education Unit is doing. So if I should go back to your question of menstruation, that means we are addressing the aspect of retention.
Sure.
The girl is in school.
Various stakeholders there discussing International Women's Day, what it means to a young girl, focusing on child marriage and education. I've got Mapito Sibiri in the studio with us. Hello, Mapito. Happy Women's Day to you.
Happy Women's Day to you too, and our wonderful guest.
Yes.
So we posted on Facebook, what does International Women's Day mean to you? I'm going to start with you, Bernice.
Well, for me, it means a lot. At least it's a day set aside, create some awareness on women. Every year has a theme. This year we are saying, you know what, after being encouraged to be bold, we now have to move beyond it, press for change. So I think it's a great day, and well, hopefully we'll be able to, like the First Lady said, move beyond the talk and get some real results.
And to you, what does the day mean to you?
It means a lot. As a woman, we just have to press hard and hard and hard. However, from the boldness that we were told to achieve last year, it was just a day's program. And this year also, after that day, we never heard anything about it. Today, the First Lady nicely gave us a brief. But I believe, and I'm praying, that this year's one, after today, we should be able to meet, organize programs, so that that will be the method of pushing hard. And to all women, wherever you find yourself, do push hard with your status, push hard with whatever you do, and then together we will gradually take over without the men knowing.
So hashtag press for progress. We're going to go to Facebook now, and we're asking, what does the International Women's Day mean to you? And our first comment, let's see if we can take some comments there. So, okay, let's go to Michael Quest, who says, this question will not, okay, all right, thank you for your comment.
But Mapito, don't move on. That actually tells you of a problem. I don't know if you know about the yen and the yang, the Chinese, the two different sides coming together. Yeah. And in fact, I had one proverb that says that the sky is held up by men and women. So if you have men coming onto social media to say it means nothing and they think International Women's Day won't develop Ghana, then
we have a problem.
A big one. A big one.
We have a problem.
A big one.
And then let's see if we can get, yes?
Because they must join us. They must help us.
We must fight together.
We must do it together.
Because I also heard that when they say is that we're both holding up the sky, but then if the men are kicking us at our legs, half of the sky falls down, and then we are blamed for the whole sky for falling down. So it's like 50-50, like you said, yin yang, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And we go to Modium G, who says it means women have their rights and must be heard. They should be given the platform as they do to men. However, their rights is limited, so they should know and understand when it comes to decision making at home. All right. And James comes in to say, being celebrated means you have done good work. Our women are doing us good. That's why we're celebrating you today. Our good women should keep us the good work. We appreciate everything. And Papa Kwesi comes in to say, ladies must fight for equity and not equality. That is the only surest way to empower women. Let's support them to rise and fighting for equality, because it will never happen.
Mapito, rest and read the rest.
Okay, it will never happen. We'll come back to that. But he said God himself hates equality in gender, but a strong advocate for equity. The husband is the head of the house, just as Christ is the head of the church. I have done well in breaking it down to my girlfriend, and she has grown to be a splendid lady.
Mapito,
honestly, I believe in equality, and you know this. We've been speaking about this. I believe in equality. Where do I begin? It actually frustrates me. It actually frustrates me that men think that, you know what, women are less than men. It doesn't work like that.
I think that the issue where he brings in the church, for example, has more to do with roles for me. Now, if you say the man is a head, it doesn't mean he is above a woman. Okay, so it's all has to do with interpretation and your upbringing. I strongly believe, and when people quote the scripture, I also quote to them the portion of scripture that says that in Christ there's no woman, there's no man, there's no Jew, there's no Gentile. So how do you fix that? So the issue of the man being ahead is just like this organization. We have a leader. It's just for the purposes of organization. But it doesn't really in terms of who is better than the other. You know, it doesn't play that way for me.
But most of the time people believe it's that way, that men are better than women, and that's why we won't pay them the same. That's why we won't treat them the same. That's why when they're dressed in a certain manner, you know, they are discussed or they are judged, they're persecuted. And like, I don't understand. You come to a job interview, okay, so they ask you, do you have kids? Who's going to take care of your kids? But when a man comes in for the same job interview, like, it's not even discussed. So do you think that now I can't take the job because of, like, my children? But we're going to, you know, the day is very significant, so we want to know the history of International Women's Day. So we're going to take more Facebook comments on what does this day mean to you. And we're going to go to Atanga Naba Madina, who says, woman, ... exclamation, I beg, come and answer your question. And Simon comes and says, recognizing, appreciating the important role women play in our society. And TK Hope comes in to say, it means you're beginning to be honest to yourself. All right. And your boyfriend. All right. And Al comes in to say, Happy Women's Day. And Kweku says, women are special creatures. Women are not in competition with no men. Because obviously, if we're in competition with them, we would win. We would win. So we're not in competition.
You know,
really? Please.
One of the comments you just read reminds me of what we were discussing earlier before you joined. Now, this gentleman is calling out to women to come and answer. Sometimes that is the struggle. I've spoken to some advocates who believe women must be interested in what matters to them. Yeah. And so you have a question like this, and Mapito, how many women
have commented? That's another thing. So women must stand up and rise to the occasion. Hashtag press for progress. Last year we were being bold for change. This year we are pressing for progress.
And then pressing hard.
Pressing hard. We are pressing hard.
I love it. But
So
we know the UN has been speaking.
Yes.
Obviously sending their well wishes to women all over the world. And well, we'll take that quickly, that message now.
Happy International Women's Day. This year, we celebrate the tireless work of activists who have been central to the global push for gender equality. They are veteran leaders like the late Asma Jahangir of Pakistan, who campaigned tirelessly to defend women's rights, which are human rights, and voices from the next generation like Jaha Dukore of the Gambia, UN Women's Regional Goodwill Ambassador for Africa on ending FGM and child marriage. We salute those activists who found their voices in the social media in the recent months in more than 85 countries to expose those who have preyed on the less powerful. We remember Latin America's #Neonemanos movement protesting femicide and the creation of the Namolochi, the Don't Keep Silent movement in Kazakhstan, founded by sexual assault survivor Dina Semilova. We celebrate UN Trust Fund to End Violence Against Women grantee SOR in Nigeria, which supports interventions that break the silence around abuse and protect girls from sexual violence. We honor the women who have spoken up in the International Criminal Court to bring accountability to those who have used rape as a weapon of war. We celebrate those who advocated for legal reform in countries such as Tunisia, which recently ended a provision that allowed rapists to escape prosecution if they married their victims, and the indigenous leaders who have stood up for their rights to land and traditional practices, and human rights defenders who have lost their lives for their cause. We must continue to increase the diversity and the number of people working on gender equality, bringing in more men and boys, young people, and faith-based organizations. Together, like the many other women in the world, we must say time's up. We must not be afraid to say me too. UN Women stands with all the women in rural areas, urban areas, young, old. Where their voices are missing, there is an important gap in the fabric of society. Through engagement across all sectors of society, we can bridge that gap and move to a better world, a world we all seek. Thank you.
So time's up. Women, we need to rise up and stand to the occasion. So Bernice, you know the Oscars last day, if I'm not mistaken, they were pushing the whole time's up. It's time up for the men to, you know, enjoy their seats, because I know with the directors category, it was only men, right? Which was very like, wow, this is embarrassing. Where are all the women? And most of the categories, it's always men dominated.
You mean that we don't have women there?
No, it means that the women are not coming up and they're not being nominated for such categories.
Maybe because they are not there.
So that means they need to rise up.
Yes,
you understand?
I agree.
Yeah. So we need to be bold in this change. Yeah.
So you've got a message from some people to all women on International Women's Day. Hopefully we'll get more women responding in this one.
Let's take your message.
Well, my message to all women is that I appreciate that times are hard. And for example, if you live in this part of the world, culture, religion, so many impediments. But I believe that if we argue our case rightly, if we make a case for ourselves by educating young girls, we can make progress, and we will make progress. So if you're a woman watching, just look out for other women, inspire them. Hold somebody's hand. If there's a young girl in a community who needs support, just inspire her, support her, and I believe together we will make a difference. That's my message.
That's your message. I'll come to you for a message, but let me take some Facebook comments where Harold is saying the difference between man and woman is WO. Hashtag women are warrant officers of men, all right? And Daniel comes in to say that they should keep their heads up as always. And this is one to unmarried ones, to pray for husbands with hearts of gold, but not with only of money. My thing is, pray for husbands,
Mapito.
No,
Please don't upset Mapito today.
Pray for
Mapito.
husbands. Does it mean that I won't function if I don't have a husband?
No, he didn't say. He said pray for husbands with hearts of gold, not money. So if you are somebody who is praying for a husband, pray for one with a heart.
That's why you are here, to calm me down. To calm me down. And then Anas says, you people should stop deceiving yourselves with issue of gender equality, because men and women were naturally created, not equal. So gender equity would be the best. All right, thank you for your comments. And he continues to say, women should know that whatever the position she occupies, she's under the control of men. Your independency is temporary.
He tries to say is temporary.
Yes. And Charles says, hi, happy Women's Day to every woman on the planet, especially Tutu Dan in Italy and Ghana, God bless all. And Jaman says, congratulations to all women in the world. Equality for all, no gender is being seen as weak. We love them, hot, hot, hot. And Kweku comes in to says, women are special creatures. Happy Women's Day. So, your message to women out there?
My message is very simple to the men. If you happen to marry a woman who was in school or completed and has several papers to rewrite, allow the lady to go back to school and join us fully. Okay. She still remains your wife, but a wife that will be on her own. We are not calling for divorce or anything. We are saying that please go get your papers. Don't sit down because you have a baby. Even in the investors, you see a lot of girls who are married and along the line gave birth and then dropped out. Go back to school. We want you to join us. And then for those at the primary schools and at the beaches who are not going to school, assembling women, please mentor them, talk to them to go back to school. In the villages where some of us come from, we'll continue to do that. All female MPs are doing very well trying to encourage ladies to go. And the district chief executives, please, 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 your policies should be women friendly.
I love that a politician speaking to other politicians, hard and nice. Mapito, but you've been speaking to some people on the streets.
And let's see what they've been saying.
Great, yeah, in terms of being great companions, and then life as a life starter. If you get a great woman who can support you, it's a plus. But generally, I think women are great.
Women are our partners. Without them, we cannot be. Without a woman, you are not a complete man. And without a woman, your children cannot be whom they are supposed to be. Yes, it is the men that go out, but today it is not the men alone.
I think women are caring, loving people who, we can't do without as human beings.
Their way of acting, it's unpredictable. We can never predict what a woman can do. That's so special about them. Yeah, that's what I can say.
They are very emotional when it comes to how they, as I said, how they react to issues. They usually, unfortunately, I don't know, they should forgive me, but they allow their emotions to make decisions for them, and I think that's special. I think that's what I think is unique to them, yeah.
I think they are very supportive, they are encouraging, and they are loving as compared to their daddies.
I think women are caring, so they just want to do anything for you that will make you feel comfortable around them, and that's what I really like about women.
Special thing about women. Yeah. Patience, tolerance, understanding. What I like about my wife, I believe tolerance is one thing.
Because the women always care for us so much. That's why they always get to our hearts. Women are indeed unique and special. You see, women are very special. They're the ones who actually carry us for 9 months. And they are our sisters, our mothers, our friends. And without them, our world will never be as it is, as we see They are really unique. They help us. If you are so hungry, you know how powerful women are. Without the food, you begin to act in some ways. And when the food comes, you calm down. That's why you see the way to reach a man's heart is through at the stomach.
So that was a message for from some men to the special women. So from me, I'm saying that to all the little girls and ladies who are watching, never doubt that you're valuable and powerful and deserving of every chance and every opportunity in the world to pursue and achieve your dreams. That is all from me, Mapito Sibidi. Bernice Abubedu.
Thank you, Mapito Sibidi. Really inspiring. They're bringing us your comments from our social media platforms. It's been a very interesting one here as we commemorate International Women's Day. I hosted Madame Angela Alowote. She is MP for Afadjato South. Thank you so much for spending time with us and for sharing all you had to share with us. And Bernice Abubedu, don't forget, it continues on social media, the conversation on women, #Press for Progress. Do stay with us here on Joy News.